3 at 3 every business day. We bring you unusual option activity, and every once in a while I'm getting a fill during the show, which just kind of makes things more interesting, right? I mean, Pete and I are guys that actually do trade. We don't just talk about it. So anyway, let's get into today's 3 at 3. It is the 10th of February. And this is the presentation. Our disclaimer says that this is provided for educational and informational purposes only, full stop. All investments involve risk. Intellectual property rights. Yes, we own patents, trademarks, copyrights, as well as registered marks on virtually everything you're about to see. So before you willy-nilly just reproduce it, please ask us first and then cite Market Rebellion. Thank you. All right, here's a couple trades. Let's take a look and see how they worked out. This was one from yesterday, Momo, 1723, 5,000 of this Friday, the 12th of February, 1750 calls. Well, we bought them at 34 cents, took off half yesterday because they doubled, and that's how we play the game. And where is it today? Well, it keeps going higher. So if you want to make fun of your dear old John or Dr. J, because it went to 1918, feel free. It is a free country. However, I did take the other 50% off at 1870. So the first batch took off for 68 cents. The second batch at whatever that 1870 level would be worth $1.20. And I think I got a nickel more than that, like $1.25 for them, because there's intrinsically a little value in that put still. So for that reason, I think I got a $1.25 from a 34-cent entry. Yeah, I'll take it. Also, folks, we talked about Veru. This is one that I spoke about, as you see there, 2,000 of those March 1750 calls on the 8th, which was last Friday. And I remember some people were heckling me about it, going, oh, God, Doc, I don't know. Well, anyway, it worked out. In fact, it traded up to 23.24 today. Now, I didn't sell the high, but my remaining calls, I said adios as we traded above 21, and should have been greedier, I guess, but, you know, pigs get fat and all that kind of stuff. So I never look back when I make a trade. I might discuss it with you here, but after I've made the trade and I've closed it out, just wait till the next time something hits. Speaking of hitting, how about this one too? There with the pirate ship in the background and our ticker tape. That's, by the way, a vintage ticker tape, an Edison ticker. But anyway, Cleveland Cliffs, we talked about it. I talked about it yesterday on the halftime report. And as we discussed it, the stock, April 18 calls, you remember I said, I'm going to buy this spread instead. I'm going to buy the at-the-money 16 calls and sell the 19 calls, thereby creating a $3 call spread differential between those two strikes, 16 and 19. Pretty simple, but nonetheless, I'll repeat it because I want you to learn along with those who already know. And today, it trades up another 65 cents to 16.57. Been as high as 16.74. By the way, the spread is up 50% already. That's right, the spread is up 50%. So, for those of you who are happy with a 4% gain in the stock because you haven't learned about options, you're not doing anything wrong. You shouldn't trade options until you know what you're doing in options. However, when the gift is laid out there in front of you, like it is in this case, I'm more than happy to pick it up. You recall yesterday we talked about the secondary, and that was why Cliffs was softer into yesterday. By the way, our YouTube channel, if you don't want to miss a single thing that Pete and I produce, then by all means, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You just go to YouTube. In the search bar on YouTube, you type Market Rebellion. Pretty simple, right? Just Market Rebellion. And then you will get Pete's The Take every single day during the business week. He does that at 10:30 Eastern Time. I do Compound Interests, which is my podcast. Last week it was featuring Luke Pergandi from PropSwap. That is a prop betting site where they don't book the bets, but what they do and what Luke does is his team posts up, oh, this person's got Tampa, and they want to hedge and let some of that ticket go or all of that ticket go at a certain level because they bought it for $200 and it's worth 50 grand. You can understand why people might want to swap some of those prop bets. On the other hand, you might also understand that somebody really committed to it might want to buy that prop bet. So anyway, that was with Luke Pergandi of PropSwap. You see my 60-second videos up there. You get the weekly market report with AJ Monty, chartered market technician, brilliant guy, good friend, and of course my 3 at 3. Get all of it. All you got to do is subscribe. That's all you have to do. It is completely free. Let's hit some unusual, shall we? All right, FTI, bullish call spread. Stock was exactly $10 when we cited this. Those April 12 calls were trading for 80 cents at that time. So with the stock at 10, FTI, April 12s, you know, those of you who are veterans of 3 at 3, know that I'm not going to buy the 12s. I'm going to buy something closer to the money, like the 10s, because that's how I play. I move the odds into my favor. Yeah, you could buy the 12s, and you might make a bigger score than me on the trade. Go ahead. I'm swinging for average, folks. I've been here for 39 years, so I'm all about, okay, it's not like I stopped making money, but I stopped having to swing for the fences. Now, instead of putting it all on or YOLO trading, I just sit there and say, okay, 100 lot, I'm going to buy these 10s, sell those 12s. If it goes between, if it gets up to 12, great. If it goes through 12, even better for you guys that just bought those calls. For me, I'll be happy with a triple. There it is right now. Technip 1014. So stock trader is already up 14 cents. Congratulations. Meanwhile, the options, we are in the spread, and I will be in that spread. This was an April trade, folks, so we have lots of time for this one to work. By the way, speaking of working, two of the hardest working guys at Market Rebellion are Ryan Mastro and Mike Yamamoto. They will be joining me for a webinar in about 50 minutes at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. The only way you can join us is to sign up now. Now, this is a slide from yesterday, so it says tomorrow at 4 p.m. No, it is today, Wednesday, February 10th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune into that, my friends, because we'll be talking about some outrageous stuff for unusual option activity and some of the catalysts behind it. I think you'll really enjoy the presentation. If you can't make it, like one of the nice young ladies that pinged me on Twitter today, at least she purported to be a nice young lady. She said, Doc, I work on the West Coast. I'm not going to be done at 4 p.m. Eastern. How can I see it? It'll be up there on the YouTube site. Just subscribe, folks, and you'll get it free on that YouTube site. Second trade, Crowdstrike. Call buying with the stock at $231 a share. Now, they're not options that expire this week. That would be the 12th. They're not options that expire next week. That would be the 19th. They are options that expire 2 full weeks and a couple days into the future. 2 weeks and 2 days into the future. Still very high time decay trade here. But nonetheless, they were buying the 235 calls. I'm not going to beat the dead horse. You know I bought a lower strike and sold probably the 235 calls because that's how I trade. But 26th of February, 235 calls. Crowdstrike with the stock at 231. It is still right at that approximate level, $230.75. So keep an eye on it. It had been as high as 233 today. I would look for this one to continue to move. But again, it is rapid time decay. So as soon as you get a pop to the upside, I will be selling calls against it. That's what I'll do. Now, since these are options that expire in just 2 weeks and 2 days, you want to be very careful. Time decay is critical here. You'd like to learn more about it? Well, how about if you go on over to marketrebellion.com/get started. If you're new to options, we can show you a lot of things that would cost you a lot of money if you didn't understand them. We can make that happen without as much pain. In fact, you can learn at your own pace anytime because, of course, it's all distance learning. So it's there on your laptop, it's there on your cell phone, whatever you want to do, we've got it. So check it out, marketrebellion.com/get started. Last trade of the day, Live Nation, LYV. You remember I did it last week for unusual activity as my final trade, and we made some good coin off of that trade. Well, they're back. It's like Poltergeist. They're back. And they're buying February 80 calls with the stock at approximately that level. So you could buy those at the money February 80 calls. And then if you get a rally, you sell a higher strike into it. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing, I hope. Live Nation was $79 when this one hit this morning. And it moved up to almost 80, $79.90. Not $79.09, $79.90 is where Live Nation is right now. And it's been as high as $80.81 today. So we've already, nudged a few of those little birdies out of the nest and taken some profits. But I've got that 80-85 on, and I'm looking forward to how Live Nation plays out. Keeping in mind, those are February, next week, expiration options. Be very aware of the time decay associated. All right, at Jon Najarian, or at 3, the number 3, at the number 3, _UOA. Questions? Yeah, we've got answers. All right, so Alex asks us, and Alex's handle is at STAUCH09. He says, Jon Najarian, that call in Cliff, bang! Can't wait for the 3 at 3. Alex, thank you for that, my friend. Very kind of you to say that. You already know that we've got about a 50% profit in our spread. Those options have already been moving up. Keep an eye on Cliffs. And these are way out in April, so you got a lot of time. But thank you, Alex. Nice when they work out so fast. John Tanks, whose handle on Twitter is at JOHN, the wrong way of spelling it. Sorry, John. JOHNTANKS, the number 2. Jon Najarian, Pete Najarian, 3 at 3. Hey, guys, what are your short-term views on Microsoft? It's been seesawing for the past week or so. Keep up the good work. What does that say? Keep knocking them out of the park. Thank you. I have something in the way between. I couldn't see my screen. Thank you very much, John. You are kind to say that, sir. We are always humble and grateful when you guys say nice things like that. I still like it. I'm selling calls against it. That is Microsoft. Let me see, by the way, what that is looking like right now. Let's see. Microsoft. For instance, the March at the money calls. Microsoft's trading 243. So let's say you wanted to get in there and sell the, I don't know, maybe the 250s. You'd get $4.76 for those. So if you had 1,000 shares of Microsoft, let's say that's a $243,000 condo. Okay, let's just look at it that way for a sec, because you got 1,000 shares wrapped up in Microsoft. And if you sell those 250s and collect $4.75, that's $475 times 10. That's $4,700. I doubt too many of you outside of San Francisco, maybe, and maybe that's the only place, could possibly even get $4,700 for a $243,000 condo. But, in a zero interest rate environment, I think that's pretty darn good return. I mean, if you did that 10 times a year, we're talking about 47,000, right? 47,000 divided by $243,000. You're in the 19% return bracket. I love that. And that's if we sell the 250s. Now, if you sold the 245s, which are more or less the at the money, you get $6,700 because they're $670 each. So you'd get 10 of those you could sell, which would be $6,700. So $6,700 times just 10, I'm not even doing it, times 12, 67,000 divided by 243,000, you're up over 27% return. So yeah, John Tanks, thank you very much. And when these trade sideways, I'm more than happy to just cash those coupons that they give me for selling those upside calls. Yes, I have an obligation to deliver shares. No, I will not sell my Microsoft. Instead, I will cover those calls. If they go in the money and I'm not paying attention, which happens occasionally but rarely, I could do a same-day stock substitution. Ask your broker about it. Anyway, I love Microsoft, as you probably already know. AGEN, Timothy asks, and his handle is @TCDURAND15. John, just wondering if you're still holding AGEN. Yes, I am. And we already doubled our money in this one, and we are waiting for more. So calls expire in March. I've got about a month and a week, something like that. Until then, I'm going to continue to hold. Thank you. Amazon is the question from Yogi Bear 413. That is YOGIBEAR 413. Hola, John. Hola, Yogi. Thanks always for the daily tips. I've been long on Amazon for years, and it's been going sideways since July. How do you think of the opportunity cost versus taking a profit and tax implications to rotate into other potentially more lucrative stocks or options? Well, Yogi, let me take a quick look over here. I'm going to do the same thing with Amazon that I did with Microsoft, AMZN. So, Yogi, for instance, let's say that you were willing, instead of selling the stock, I'm not going to, you need to ask your financial advisor if that's a wise move. Of course, like you say, you're going to pay taxes. But with the stock here at 32.76, you could sell the 32.85 calls and collect a robust $120. Now, let's say that's too close to the money for you, Yogi. So instead, you want to go out there and sell the, let's see. Say you wanted to go sell the 3,300 calls, which is more or less $25 higher than where the stock is right now. You'd collect $112, Yogi. So on this very large trade, because this is $3,200 for every single share, so 1,000 shares is a lot. If you collected $112, every option's for 100 shares of stock, so that's $1,120 per is what you'd collect. I would plug that into your spreadsheet, Yogi, and see what you think, whether or not collecting 10 of, if you had 1,000 shares, collecting 10 of those, which would be 1,100, or of course 10 of them 11,000. I think that's probably pretty nice spending cash for you every month, Yogi. So some of these stocks, I view them like a bank account, and a high interest bank account. So I love selling upside calls against my Amazon, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, Yogi, because I don't know everything about your financial situation, but I am holding Amazon. I think even under new leadership, it still is a juggernaut. Thank you for asking. Let's get to what I think is, the teaser slide for the webinar tonight. In fact, if you want to learn about the inside the boom secrets, our secrets to trading option order flow, well, Ryan Mastro, Mike Yamamoto, and I will be on in about a little over half an hour. I hope you join us. You got to sign up before it happens, or you won't be live. You'll have to wait till tomorrow. So if you want it live, go to Market Rebellion now and sign up. And if you'd like to learn more about unusual option activity, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. That's marketrebellion.com/UOA. Hey, folks, thank you for this. It's always a privilege to be here talking markets with you. I'll be back on the halftime report tomorrow. For those of you joining us in a little over half an hour on the webinar, you're going to love it, I guarantee. Another guy with questionable hair. But nonetheless, I guarantee you're going to like it. Thank you, folks. Enjoy the afternoon. I'll see you at 4 p.m. Eastern and or tomorrow on the Halftime Report.